I'm speaking to you today from the Bravery Garden at Government House in Canberra, where the flags at half-mast tell the tragic story of a very dark moment in our country. Flags are now flying at half-mast around our country as a visible sign of our collective grief. With all Australians, I am distressed and appalled by the dreadful violence that has occurred at Bondi Beach. Last night, I wrote about the horror and tragedy of the event as it was unfolding. Since then, I have been briefed about this atrocity and have spoken with leading members of the Jewish community across the country. We now know this despicable act has been declared an act of terror, an anti-Semitic attack on Jewish people, and a horror that could scar our Australian community for a long time. I join Australians everywhere, His Majesty the King, and nations around the world in condemning this vicious act of anti-Semitism that has taken the lives of so many precious Australians and left many more injured and suffering. Their families and communities are in deep trauma and remain frightened. Jewish Australians are a cherished part of our nation's past, present and future. Members of Sydney's Jewish community came to Bondi Beach yesterday to celebrate the start of Hanukkah, a time of peace and light. Many other Australians were also at the beach, enjoying one of Sydney's beautiful summer evenings. For them, and so many Australians, Bondi is a place of welcome, peace and sunshine, representing the promise of this country. It is then so shocking that a community for whom Australia has meant a place of safety and hope, many of whom are refugees and their descendants, should experience such barbarism and hatred. To Australia's Jewish community, as you mourn your beloved family members, community members and others, and pray for those injured in the attack, I want you to know that the love and strength of Australians are with you. Now, I know there is a deep sense of fear and uncertainty following yesterday's events, and I encourage all Australians to reach out to their communities to show their solidarity. As Australia's Governors-General, I reject hatred, violence, discrimination and anti-Semitism in all its forms. They have no place here. They will never find a voice here. Care, kindness and respect resonate at the heart of our Australian communities. In the shadow of anti-Semitism, the light of Hanukkah shone out in the brave members of the public and all of those first responders who acted without thought for their own safety and with courage, compassion and skill to stop the violence and save many lives. There is no doubt that their heroism prevented the loss of many more lives. Their fearless impulse and the desire to help comes from a place of deep care for their fellow Australians. And in that same spirit, I know we will need to show up and care for one another at this very distressing time. This morning I've been listening to and taking advice from Jewish faith and other leaders, and many have suggested the lighting of candles by Australians across the country tonight would be a simple and meaningful act of compassion and care. This is something we can all do. Members of the Jewish community will join Simeon and me at Admiralty House in Sydney this evening to light the menorah. And just as Jewish people place the light of the Hanukkah candles in the menorah in their windows of their homes, we could all join them by lighting our own candles as a symbol of our love and solidarity and begin that long journey of healing. In ways big and small, by reaching out to our Jewish friends and neighbours, by giving blood, by remembering dearly those who have lost their lives, from the very young to senior community members, and those who will live with the consequences of this moment long into the future, we can show the care that lifts us up and binds us together as Australians. A condolence book is now online on the New South Wales Government website, and we plan condolence books to be available for signing by members of the public at Admiralty House in Sydney and Government House here in Canberra. To Australia's Jewish community, my heart is with you today and always. After this act of barbarism, we must move as a nation to a place of healing. As I took office, I learnt from a former Governor-General, Sir Zelman Cowen, to reflect the light and shade of Australia back to our nation. We are sadly in a time of shade. Over the past year, I have regularly spoken of the need for us to take great care in how we resolve the tough issues of our time with respect and care, Today, inspired by Sir Zelman's words, we must commit ourselves to consider why and how this act of terror happened and what needs to change in our country to ensure this can never happen again. That is our collective challenge, and as we've done in the past, I know that we can rise to it.